So there is a movie called Centered. Anyway, so there's a movie called Purgatory, and it was on YouTube for free. If you type in, it is, I think it's a bootleg, but it's on there. I mean, I don't know. Is bootlegs bad? I don't know, but it's been one of my favorite movies since I was a kid, and it's called Purgatory. Um, Sometimes you can find. I'm gonna tell you a secret. If you look on YouTube and you want to watch like a Broadway show or a movie, you type in the movie name and then you type in slime tutorial, and then sometimes you can find the whole thing for free. And I've done that. But anyway, so the movie is it's about this guy that is in a town. Well, first he was with like a group of bank robbers, right? And then he goes into this town and he sees this lady. It's a western, so and it's so good. Anyway, so he this lady gets shot in the face, and she ends up dying in his arms. And then when he goes later on, while he's in the town, right, he sees the same lady, and he's like, "Ma'am, you're dead." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Is that gaslighting? I don't know. But he was like, "Yeah, you're dead." And he notices in the town that the people, they all are Christian. They're all going to church. They all go to church at a certain time. And yeah, he sees the lady going to church, and he's like, "Yeah, you're dead." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're lying. I saw you die. I held you." And she's like, "Have a good day, sir. That's not me." Because all the people in the town are like they were like gunmen, or they were prostitutes, or they were just like bad people, and so I don't know why he there, because he's not dead as far as I know. But so basically the clan that he was with comes to town and is like, "I'm gonna kill all y'all, I'm gonna take your money, and I'm going to rob this place, and it's gonna be mine, and all the women are mine." And the people that are there are basically kind of on trial, and they are there to get right with Christ so they can move forward with going to heaven, essentially. Um, so they move on, and yeah, they're not supposed to, do anything bad, like follow, like they're supposed to follow the commandments, like they're not allowed to kill anybody. And when they mess up, there is, I don't know, there's this guy that comes to get them, and he has a horse. He's like, "Come grab the horse," and then they go, and he just takes them off, and you don't see where they go. And so the people in the town, the guy that is there that's not dead, and the people that are also there that was in the clan that's not dead, they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna kill everybody. We're gonna take your money," which don't really make sense because it seems like they trapped there. I don't know how they got there, but I'm pretty sure you can't leave the little purgatory town with the purgatory money, but we gonna leave that alone logically. But it's not really logical. Like, you can't really put logic on God stuff. But anyway, but he's like, hey, you guys are the greatest gunslingers in the world. You have to help the town. You have to save the town. And they're like, no, we retired, try not to go to hell. And and he's like, no, you have to help us. So he by himself decides that he's going to fight off all these gunmen, and he's not a gunslinger. Like, he's cool, he's adequate, but he's not like pew, pew. Like, he's not like top notch. So he decides he's gonna do it by himself, and the people that are on trial are like, he gonna die. That's sad. But they're like, he's a good kid. We want to help the kid, so they decide they're gonna help him out. And I'm not gonna ruin the ending. I already talked about most of the premise of the movie anyway, but we gonna leave that alone. So they have a gunfight. They're like pew 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 pew, and you're like, oh wow, that's so great, because I love westerns. And it's like Billy the Kid was in it, and like a whole bunch of other legends was in it, and I was like, oh, this is great. But it's a good movie though. But it's about essentially what we're in now, if you want to consider this our purgatory. This is where we are. This is where we are currently at. I don't think people realize that this is our time to get right with God. This is our time to make a decision on if we're going to follow God or not. And if you decide to, you can't be half in and half out. You have to be fully in, and you have to take the journey to keep learning to actually be consistent and be restored and be righteous. And we can't do that if we're breaking the commandments or doing things that lead to greater sin. And ranking sin is not a real thing. I wanted to point that out too. Like, I think a lot of people sometimes, I know I grew up in a religious, and I didn't. We're gonna talk about that later. But I grew up in a space that was not religious. It was not godly, but pretended to be godly. And yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. My point is, we're in purgatory. Our purpose is to follow God. And the thing is, people also don't understand that people have free will. Like, you can choose to have restraint by yourself, or you can choose to have restraint with God. And when you choose to have restraint by yourself, you are gonna lose because you're a person. But when you have restraint with God, you are like 100% have greater odds, because you're working with God as two being one, and you can't lose on that one because it is God. If you're like, God is not gonna lose. And if there's something that doesn't work out, it's because he didn't want it to work out. But people need to understand as well that, you don't have to follow God. Nobody has to do anything. That's why God gave free will. That's why he was like, you can make a decision to follow me or not. And nowhere in the Bible have I ever seen that God was like, how dare you not follow me? How dare you not listen to me? And it's like a lot of people have made Christianity as if it's like a mandatory thing for the whole world, and it's not. There are people that are going to choose to not follow Christ, and God allows them to do that. Do you realize that there's people in the Bible that chose to walk with God and chose not to walk with God? And there's people in the world that choose to walk with God, and there's people that choose not to. And God allows them to not worship Him and not follow Him. He says, you guys can be over there, we're gonna be over here. Like, how like, kind is that? Like, I think in like friendships and relationships, people are gonna be like, oh, if you don't like me, you can go away. Or they get mad, or honestly sometimes they do bad things like murder or like other things because they can't let go of like the rejection and stuff. And it's like, God doesn't do that. He literally said you have a choice, you have free will to be here or not. And I just want to say, this is your choice. You can choose to follow God and you can choose not to. And if you choose to, I hope that you do. I hope that, you learn God for yourself and you develop a relationship for yourself, because mine is not going to be the same as yours, and yours is not going to be the same as mine. God's not going to talk to you the same way He talks to me. He's not going to, He's not a one-size-fit-all onesie, He's a complicated God, and he's simple, but he's complicated in terms of like process, because He looks at the whole span of things, not just the hour and minute. Because like right now, I want a lettuce wrap burger, but God knows, maybe I don't need a lettuce wrap burger. So He'll be like, you know what? Your app doesn't work. You see what I'm saying? Like, it'll seem so like small and minute, but like there's small things that's happening to lead to bigger things, and there's big things that happen that cause smaller things, and then those things are all God. And it's your free will, and it's your submission, and it's your surrender, and it's your willingness to be there that God is able to help you. And if you want to be helped, that's okay. Because, I honestly hated to say this, let's put it this way, but not everybody's going to heaven. And that's not even like a Christian or non-Christian thing, because there's so many people I've met that say they are Christian, and they are so mean. They're mean to me, they're mean to other people, they're awful. And they're not working in the fruits of the Spirit. And what do you think if these people are saying they're with God and they're making God a liar? Because they're not really with God, they're just saying His name. And that's reality. There's people that are going to say they're Christian and they're not. There's going to be people that say they aren't Christian and they actually are in their spirit. They don't realize it yet. There's people that are not Christian now and maybe will be. And yeah, it's just a multifaceted thing, and that's okay. But I invite you to watch the movie, and I invite you to learn God with me and for yourself, and to just start the world journey in a different light, because when you choose to, it works out better personally. But yeah, I mean, not to say that when you accept God that your life is just fine, dandy, and happy, but it's definitely happier and more tolerable when you do than versus when you don't. So, toodles.